You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
I'm Pooba, and of course, that's Pete. This is the episode that was labeled Winter Fire as a finale. Let me tell you, it was just that. Straight fire. But, of course, things started going crazy, Pete, right from the jump. We get the fog. We get everything that we see coming through. Everyone's kind of going crazy. What did you think of that opening to that finale?
Well, just, this is it. This is the top of the mountain. This is the mountaintop where we've been trying to get to all season. Everything's going to come to a head, in everything. Like, look, we're getting ready for Stranger Things, when that finale is in 2 weeks. We're still going to have the Christmas episodes, but it's building up to that, which is they did a phenomenal job with that in this series. I'm glad you suggested it. It got me to watch chapter 1 and 2, and then I was able to follow along with everything that went through for this series. But yeah, this is it was just the beginning of a great episode, and that episode being the end of season 1. Welcome to Derry season 1.
Yeah, well, the way this particular finale went, we may get a chapter 3, 4, and 5 post what we found about in this particular episode. But yeah, the whole fog thing was crazy. Reminded me of another Stephen King movie immediately called The Mist. But that's in Bridgeton, Maine. It's a Stephen King novel as well. It's a Stephen King movie. You can go check that out if you want to go see that. But man, I just thought that the whole thing was crazy. Now, well, again, I know you always keep an eye on that, but did you see the hobby house? How the lady was smiling in the window when the fog was coming in?
Yes. Again, that smile is just it's very minor, but it's just shows you that he's there. He's everywhere, and he's he's lurking. He could be anybody, and that adds to the character, the mystique of the character, and he's become somewhat of a favorite of mine because of the way we saw a lot of what he can do in this, not just in the movies, but in this series. You see how sick this character is.
So he's up there with your Freddys and your Jasons?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And look, I've never seen the one with Tim Curry, the 90s version. I've never seen that. So it's nothing from... I can't sit here and compare the two. I can't say which one was better, but I thought his performance as Pennywise was top notch.
This is the best Skarsgård has ever portrayed Pennywise by far. Like even above the movies, in my opinion. Like this was top notch, Emmy deserving, in my opinion, in how he's transitioned this particular clown. But let's continue this talk, Pete, because we had to go talk about the school. Pennywise style Lucio, bro. He got open in the school. You see how he was going towards the microphone with his bloody hand just to click the button. And again, just the small details. And then getting all the underclassmen. I mean, you went to Clark, right? And we had underclassmen there in a sense as well. You had the seniors, of course, and you had the underclassmen. But it's, again, easier scale children. So he gets, of course, the underclassmen in there. Pete, once you saw the principal and he was using the principal like a puppet, what did you think about that whole thing before the deadlights came on?
That's just like I just finished saying, that he showed a lot of what he can do, and it's very similar to Freddy, because I think as the Nightmare on Elm Street movies went on, he got a little bit more creative with his kills, and seemed like he was having fun with it as well. And this went the same here. Like he was using him as a puppet. I knew something was up before they even showed him. I knew something was up with him. But then when he did that, and then he tore his freaking head off, I was like, he's he's pulling out all the stops.
Listen, the kids in the auditorium, again, another Stephen King carry when they were trying to get out the auditorium, reminded me immediately of that as well. Again, just these Stephen King things that stick in my head, and now whether it was intentional or not, now they're just there. Him doing the kick dance, I was like, yeah, go ahead and get it, bro. Go ahead and get that kick dance. And I love how they film that, how they kind of keep his, I guess, his head straight, but the whole back screen is moving. I just love how they do that as well. And he kind of sings this song, and we kind of get it later on with the whole Mrs. Curse thing at the end, because it's the same song that they're playing on the record. So again, Easter egg there that he did, but man, but I don't think he can eat anymore, Pete, because he used the deadlights on all the kids, and maybe he's just kind of storing that for like like a bear that hibernates, that stores all that food or whatever. So I'm not getting why go straight to the deadlights, but that's what I'm thinking anyway. But we get back to, of course, to the kids on the tower. And did you notice the missing posters were of the recent kids he just took?
Yes.
That was kind of dope, man. And I loved how they did that.
Well, that's him. That's him doing his, that's him doing his thing. He's trolling people. Like, look, I know I know who these kids are. These are the patty cakes. That's what their names were.
Yeah, the patty cakes.
The main girl, her poster was there. Of course, she's gonna know who that is. So that was kind of more, to me, I saw him, it was kind of like he was trolling them. Like, look, this one's missing too. So, I got her too.
That's how they found out he had Will, because Will never really got a chance to talk to them. They found it via the missing poster, which is really good to think about. But I got to talk about Pennywise's carriage, bro. Come on. Him playing the tuba had me dying. And then I think it was like a piece of leg or arm that he was using as the pedal.
I thought it was an arm.
Yeah, probably an arm, but that was kind of crazy to me. And I felt bad for Ronnie, bro. They got this little girl kind of peddling these other two girls, and it looked kind of a little like, never mind, but Pennywise did get a little racist in this. I got to talk about it when he told a Hanlon that the darker meat tastes sweeter.
He did say that. I did remember him say that. But were you talking about Ronnie and the two girls on the bike?
Yeah, like they had her working like a slave. They had her.
Well, I didn't think all that, but I did when I saw them. I said, "Are they all three on the bike?" Yeah. And then when they got off and got back on, I was like, "Yeah, they're really all three on the bike right now." Yeah. I didn't. Again, you always take a deeper dive. So, but I was just trying to figure that out. I did hear when he said that, though. I did hear him say that. But again,
not that I'm laughing, because that Pennywise has never shown any racism at all, but that was kind of a racist joke, which I love.
He was acting up. He was acting up.
But a good Easter egg during the whole bike thing and everything else was when Marge said, "I want to kill that effing clown." Of course, we hear Richie say that kind of later on. I want to, I think he said it twice. Bill Hader said, "Let's kill this effing clown" as well. In chapter 2. So just all this stuff that leads up, of course, to what we're about to find out later on. But, bro, the ghosts around Dick Halloran, bro, like they're acting up, and he is down in that bottle, bro. And he was about to off himself.
Yeah.
Pete, talk to me. Were you feeling bad for Doc at this point?
Well, yeah, you see, he's stressed. I mean, if you're if it's to the point where you're about to, it did remind me of something else. I can't remember what it was, where they just couldn't take it anymore. Hearing voices, seeing things, it's, that could definitely really mess with your mental. And of course, this is on a grander scale, is that he's seeing things that nobody else is seeing, nobody else is hearing. So, I wasn't surprised that he was at that point to kill himself. And then when Leroy walks in, I was like, don't shoot him, man. Like, don't do that, because it's gonna end up being worse for you. But I was not surprised that he was at that point, because
and these ghosts were kind of like dicks. They were like, yeah, do it, shoot yourself. Again, just things. Again, I find humor in this stuff, so forgive me. The girls start fighting over the dagger, and we get to that scene as well. We also get, of course, Doc getting that tea to kind of let him focus on what he needed to get done. But even when the girls jump into the milkman, he got murked as well. And I have no reason why he killed the milkman. Like, why that guy? But anyway, the girls, of course, are getting to the whip, crash the whip. They're running in there, and I'm just gonna get to the scene where they're running, and they see the patty cakes floating up. And bro, I laughed because they was like, "F these girls. Where's our boy Will?"
Yeah.
But again, the patty cakes kind of deserve that in a sense, for me as well. But you know, Pennywise, when he called them the nicknames, bro, he called the fool, the freak, and the failure. Did you know who was who?
No, and I when I kind of realized what he was doing, but then he kind of like answered my question when he said, "Who is who? Which one is which? Like
Yeah.
which name applies to who?" I was just like, okay, he's just throwing it out there. It's, again, trolling them because he's got the upper hand because they're scared. He's got all these kids trapped with the deadlights, and they're kind he's kind of on the offensive here. So
listen, it was awesome. I think the fool is Marge because she was foolish to try to fall in love. The freak, of course, is Lily, who's been in there, and then the failure. And I think he's thinking that Ronnie failed in trying to save her dad.
I would say Marge was the fool, thinking that she can be friends with the patty cakes, thinking that she could fit in with them.
I like it. I love it. But we get the most mind blowing part to me, and it's when he's running around, pulls Margaret, and Pete break down for me the minute that he calls her Margaret Tozier, and he goes, "Not yet." What was going on in your mind? Because this is probably the bulk of the debate on this one. But go ahead, talk to me what you thought once he pulled her.
That's the puzzle pieces fitting together, everything fitting together. Because this was a theory as well that she was Richie's mom. I've seen this theory before, so wasn't surprised. The dialogue between him and her was cool because it confirmed it. Yeah, but he's also touching on the part that her future. He knows what her future is. So which is crazy in that sense. And we do find out a little bit more about Pennywise in this conversation that he's having with Marge and what he's capable of doing and what is his purpose or what he's what is his existence about.
Pete, they just made this prequel into a sequel, in my opinion, and it's to the movies because, and I think it's genius. While we know that each season, of course, is going back 27 years, and they're showing us this cycle, the way this series was brought to me in my own head was the fact that this was going to be us seeing how we get to chapter 1 and chapter 2. But this is not it. Because Pennywise doesn't know the difference between his death and his birth. I mean, he doesn't know what the timeline is. And I think he's actually going back to try to change his own demise. That's what this show is now. And I think Louis says it at the end where it's up to someone else to kind of fight this stuff. This was actually not what I thought it was going to be. And I love it even more because of that. Because now I'm seeing it as it going backwards to try to save his own life. And what he's trying to do is kill some of the ancestors from the Losers Club. And we're probably going to be getting that going backwards, where we might even get the 2017 Losers Club to have to go back in time to save their ancestors. It could be a great series. Like, it could be mind-blowing. Now that I said that, Pete, what do you think?
I mean, listen, I'm not going to say you're wrong or you're right. I don't know. But being that I know you, I think you're doing the Mr. Fantastic reach again. But I think we'll find out when that next season comes out. When that next season comes out, I think the direction that they go, with the story there. Then we'll see if it's a prequel or sequel. Obviously, because of the timeline, it looks like it's a prequel. And now we're going back because I think the next one is in the 1930s, and then the next one is in the 1900s when we saw young Ingrid there.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, I don't know. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but I think we'll find out more in the next series. Whenever that is, hopefully we don't have to wait a Stranger Things amount of time to get that next series. But that'll be telling whether you're right or wrong.
It's allocated for 2027. The next chapter to be out on HBO, Netflix, whatever it is. There's a whole bunch of mess going on there. So I don't whatever it comes on, it'll come on. But how cool was it when Dick froze as Pennywise is about to bite into Marge? He froze him because he gets into its mind, and he kind of locks him into a dream, very much like Inception type. For Bob Gray. And what did you think of that? Because once I saw, Doc's black hand, that he took off the glove or something, he saw his hand. That means that Doc slapped Pennywise when he was like, "I'm the eater of worlds," smacked them, and it was Doc's way of kind of doing a reverse on Pennywise. What did you think?
No, I mean, this is what his purpose was. Because they were like, we need your help, and I was kind of wondering what he was going to be doing, how he was going to help, and it showed. Like he got into his mind. He saved Marge, I guess, because even though they're having that talk, he did. He was always after Marge. He did say that he was kind of after her. So now we finally got to see what. Besides, we know he has The Shining and everything, and him seeing the dead, I saw how he was able to help them as far as kind of neutralizing Pennywise, getting into his mind
for a hot second, because Shaw thinks he's good to go to get next to Pennywise, and Pennywise shakes it off, and I loved how Shaw thought he was in control. He was like, "Yeah, you can go. Like, you're good. You can go." Yeah, this is not a regular person, Shaw. But then he smelled his fear and reminded him who he was. Did you see how he changed back?
Yeah, he must have thought he was talking to some criminal on the run. Like, like he's dipped, and I don't know, because of what happened at the black spot. He's drenched in blood from the nose down. Right? Yeah. Like, dude, this is not some guy that just, robbed a bank or something like that. This is, and, of course he found out. He effed around and found out, and no more Shaw.
Yeah, no more Shaw. Hanlon starts shooting at Pennywise, blows his head off. And it's dope to see how the film, but he changed his head into like I forget what it's called, like a Jack in the Box head. Yeah. But then one of the most amazing parts, Pete, like Goosebumps, amazing. Sesky's spirit shows up, and Pete, who does she bring? And what he did to Pennywise. Talk to me what you felt that moment, bro.
So it was a fan, he was a fan favorite. Obviously, we lost him in the black spot episode. Rich comes back to help his friends with the shard and the dead root tree. He came back to help them because they needed more assistance to get that into the ground, is what they had to do. And he flips off. Pennywise is there after he got shot in the head. He's on the floor, and Rich flips him the bird while he's running past him. Like, I gotta say,
that was perfect. That was perfect.
You read online, and I don't see how he's not the best character on this show. An amazing following that he has. But the kid that portrayed him was really good. He was really good, and that was, again, I'm sure everybody was happy to see him come back, even though he's still gone, but he did come back and help them.
No man, I love that he still had the drumsticks in his pocket when he was running. Like that was amazing to me. You're absolutely right. The flipping of the bird is gonna become the meme of the year, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, 100%.
But yo, Pennywise changes into this flying. He grabs some wings and he looks absolutely crazy and dope all at the same time. And it was just great to see. But of course, they put the dagger in. The cage for Pennywise is all set. And for the most part, we don't see Pennywise again in this. But it doesn't end, Pete. And because there's some great things. Did you catch how Rich's plane did make it to Main Street in the tree?
Yeah.
Kind of dope is that? And Marge was the one to find it. She smiled about it. I actually loved it. The last conversation with Lily and Marge, like they said, like it seemed like this never even happened. But of course, as the debate was about, Pennywise's death, he said, is his birth. Because again, I think he's going to go back in time to try to stop that demise. He wants to change the timeline. But Dick says goodbye, Pete. And he says a crazy line to me. How much trouble can a hotel be? Like, how amazing is that? Like, they're just tying it all in. I know you enjoyed that part.
Easter eggs are dope. And then just see it in something. Look, we're big fans of Marvel and DC, and in these movies you'll hear Easter eggs here and there. But to watch something from Stephen King and have Easter eggs from a lot of his other stories in there, to me, was awesome. I thought that was really cool. Having Doc there and him leaving, and then the last episode said, "How much trouble can a hotel be?" was cool. Good look. We started thinking that Ingrid was Annie Wilkes from Misery.
Yeah.
So Shawshank was brought up. So that's cool to me. I'll never have a problem with Easter eggs unless it's like super forced and it's corny. But these were anything but. These were freaking. This is a great series, man. Great series, and that to me was cool. That they kind of closed out his story arc with him saying that.
Yeah, like fuerte el aplauso, hand clap all around. I think they did a phenomenal job about that. But Pete, we get credits, and we get to Mrs. Kirsch in Juniper Hill. We get a 27-year jump. She sees Alfreda Marsh, of course, Beverly Marsh's mother. Babs looks back. We hear the line that whoever dies in Derry doesn't truly die. And it makes sense now why Pennywise used this form in Chapter 2, because now it all comes full circle, meaning that the cycle, what he tried to change, did not change. What did you think about seeing Beverly again?
Again, this is an Easter egg type deal for me. It falls in line with cameos. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, going back to Chapter 2 and that part which we discussed, and I was like, yo, that part was crazy because she's walking around on the back. She's doing that thing that Pennywise does with his shoulders, the Harlem Shake, and then she's naked at one point, and then she comes out and she's a giant. I'm, seeing that supposedly before it happens was dope. Again, this is a cameo Easter egg type deal. Crossover, whatever you want to call it. But no, that was dope. That was dope because I didn't know what happened to her mother. And you said that in the book it was different, but I know in the books,
she died of cancer. But yeah,
the books and movies are definitely, they change things for the books, vice versa. But that was cool to see kind of the backstory, and you see her dad was already being a dick with her. Just, like, how do you do that to your kid? Why?
Yeah, well, she's wanting her mom too, man. Yeah. Pete, overall thought on this show? Like, I know it was something that I had wanted to do, and I thank you so much for joining this journey, especially for this show. But tell me what your final thoughts on this first season.
Phenomenal. I would watch this again. This is how good I thought it was. Skarsgård is amazing. I think he's just really good at this part. The latter two episodes, you see him with the blood from here down is just, it's again, yeah, I put him up there with Freddie and these classics that we've grown up with. And I know this is a second iteration of him because we saw in the '90s it was they had, it was, I believe it was a mini series, but then they made the movies and then now the series. Amazing all around. Definitely rewatch it. 9.5.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? I was there. 9.5 is exactly the same score I gave it. It was amazing to watch. This show was amazing just to cover as well, just to have a conversation about this stuff. Thank you all for joining our breakdown of this amazing series. Best way to support us, of course, is to share if you're already a member and subscribe if you're a first time here. Don't forget to hit that bell because it'll get you the latest videos. Pete, we got to leave Derry. Take us out of here.
We should have left Derry a long time ago. We will return.
The worst episode ever.